especially after he hit you that damn hard. Cause you should start crying. Okay. I fought two boys before. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, I was like fifth grade, sixth grade, something like that. Bad idea. Okay, one of them, they was both brothers. One of the brothers, I kind of beat his ass. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really a fight though. He was kind of wrestling. I kind of was throwing his ass. You know, he was kind of scrawny. He was going to get regrets. So I overrep that though. Shit did it. But the second brother, and I think he was actually the younger brother. The second brother, I didn't even touch him actually. I forgot. We got into it. Me and my sister got into it with him and his family. I don't know what the hell happened. We was neighbors though, and we was cool with all his siblings and shit like that. And we would go over their house and like go to their backyard and play. And we got into it about something I forgot. I don't know. I don't even remember what it was. All I remember is we yelling. Next thing I know, this little nigga come over here and punch me in the face like twice, two, three times. My whole life flashed from my eyes. I said, "What the hell is going on?" I didn't even attempt to hit that little boy back because he was strong. Okay, he didn't leave no knots or nothing on my face and no black eyes. Thank the Lord. But that shit hurt. Okay, so immediately I was like, "Yo, man!" I started crying. I was like, "Man, F y'all, something going to go get my sister. I'm gonna call my brother, all types of stuff." Okay. Luckily nothing big came from that. It was nothing egregious. I don't even think I ever told my brother about that. We wasn't even in Maryland at the time anyway. His ass was always in Maryland. We was in North Carolina. I mean South Carolina actually. Not a damn thing you can do about it. At least not that day. Okay. But I don't even think I ended up telling my brother. And nothing really came from that afterwards, thank God. But that shit scared me. You know what I'm saying? I think that was a part of that and some other things. But that right there definitely is a part of the reason why I never really tried to put my hands on men before. Like I've never inside of relationships specifically, I ain't never dealt with like no domestic violence. Knock on wood, never happens. But I ain't never tried to put my hands on no man. Be up there fighting, and I'm slapping him. Oh my God, you cheated on me. I've never done that. Okay. And I think a part of that is because that little boy just like traumatized my ass. Like that shit hurt. Okay. Like that was not okay. Okay. I remember this coming to my face. It was grievous. Okay. It was not that fun. All right. And so a part of that I think kind of stuck with me to make sure that I never it's a layer of protection to make sure I never put my hands on a man. And so I don't know if that's the case with this young girl because like I said, she just like jumped over the girl just to get to the dude. So maybe I don't maybe it will stick.
Hey, Shalom. This is the brother Ba. You're back here once again. Before I get started, like always, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Bahasham, Rachach Wadash. Double honor to my teachers, the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Yeah, sometimes you need to get hit to quit, man. I have the perfect precept to go into what the young woman was just talking about in the video that I played. But before I get the precept, I want to give a little context or backstory to why she was saying what she was saying. Basically, she was reacting to a video of these young men beating up these young women. The young women were antagonizing the young men, and you know how manly and masculine the young women of this generation are. So they were antagonizing the young men, and the men decided to put hands on the young women, which we don't advocate for men to just go around beating up women, for young men to go around beating up women. But you got to understand, these are young men that are not raised properly, that are dealing with all type of self-esteem issues, personal problems. So when you have women that haven't been raised properly and men that haven't been raised properly, a lot of times this is the result. And then they get in relationships, and then you have domestic violence. But staying on topic, sometimes you need to get hit to quit. And she brought out how she found out that she should not get in any physical altercation or ever try to antagonize a man to the point where it could end up in a situation where she may end up getting hit by a man, because she experienced getting hit by a young man when she was a younger woman. When she was a little girl, she got hit by a little boy, and she said that was some of the worst pain she ever felt. And she knew from that day forward not to antagonize men. Well, applying that on a spiritual aspect, you look at the way the world is today and the people that inhabit the world and the way people live their lives. It's all based around rebellion, do as thou wilt. As long as you obey the government that you're living under, all right, the system of the government that you're living under, you pay your taxes, you don't run a red light, you adhere to the laws that they set up, you can be a homosexual, you can be an adulterer, all right, you can be a thief, you can be a pedophile, you can be all these type of, you can be a witch, you can be, the list goes on, all right, and it's all wickedness. But what does the scripture say about that? All right, I started this video off by saying I have the perfect precept to go into what she was saying. So let me get the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 8, starting at verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. So because you haven't been judged or sentenced for the wickedness that you're doing on the face of the planet Earth, people continue to set their minds on doing wicked acts, evil acts, all right, things that are rebellious against their creator. The ways, the commandments, and the things that your creator set forth for you to adhere to and obey and to live by, people want to do the contrary. People want to do the opposite. And because they're not being judged right then and there, they continue to do it. All right? A homosexual continues to be a homosexual because they're not being judged according to the ancient law right now, being stoned to death, being put to death. All right? So they're able to roam around, and that wickedness increases because there's no stop being put to it. But, you can't always just tell somebody, hey, that's wrong. All right? That's wicked. All right? That's contrary to the ways of your creator. You need to stop or your creator is going to judge you. Sometimes you need to get hit to quit. Sometimes the Lord got to tax your ass. And that's what the Lord is going to do, right? The Lord speaks about not sparing the rod. Let me get that real quick. Because the Creator is our Father, right? And when you look at a child, if you don't correct a child when they do something wrong or when they do something that you told them not to do and they do it anyways, they rebel against you. He's going to turn out to be a rebellious son. And in turn, since he continued to behave in such manner when he becomes an adult, he's going to be unhinged and undisciplined. Because the rod brings what? Correction. Thy rod and thy staff comfort me. That's what the scriptures say. Right? But this is Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24. It says, he that spareth his rod hateth his son. But he that loveth him chasteth him betimes. All right, let me read that again. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. So the Lord said, if you love your children, when they do something wrong, you'll correct their ass, but sometimes you got to whoop their ass, man. But if you don't want to correct them and discipline them, then you don't truly love them, which is why we always say, according to the scriptures, love is the keeping of the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemel Shah. Love is not just saying you love somebody. Love is not even just an action. Love is a certain action, because somebody can give you gifts or do favors for you and say that's love. That's not love. Love is correcting somebody when they go off according to the ways that your creator, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, have set forth for you to live by. And when you correct them and when you bring forth the rod, right, that shows your love for them, because you want them to learn discipline. You want them to be on the right side, all right, of judgment. You don't want them to fall into, the left-hand side of wickedness and be judged according to wicked deeds, all right? Well, it's the same way with how the Lord deals with us, all right? The Lord loves us, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called African Americans, Hispanic and Native American Indians. The Lord loves you, beginning with the elect. So that's why he puts us through certain things. Why do you think we were put into slavery, the worst slavery ever known to the planet Earth, beginning with the Native Americans, the Hispanic tribes, but it escalated when the Southern Kingdom came over here during the transatlantic slave trade. The worst crimes known to history on the planet Earth. And don't let nobody tell you otherwise. But why do you think the Lord allowed that to happen to us? Well, of course, we rebelled against our Creator, our Father. Well, he chastened us. He allowed our enemies to whoop our ass, right? But that proves that he loved us, because if he didn't love us, he would have continued to allow us to just not know that we're completely going off and wicked by serving other gods, by delving into witchcraft and sorcery and all manners of spiritual fornication and adultery, right? Instead, he threw us into captivity so we can correct our ways. He didn't spare the rod. So we can get this in Proverbs chapter 23, verse 13. It says, verse 13 through 14, it says, withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shall deliver his soul from hell. And that's what the Lord is doing to his chosen nation, the Hebrew Israelites. He allowed us to be trampled under all the nations on the planet Earth, to where we the only nation that don't have a government of our own, a military of our own, a financial system of our own. You got all these nations that come to America to, reap the benefits of how America was built off the blood and backs of the Hebrew Israelites. They come over here to reap the benefits of America, but they own nation have a country and laws. Their own nation, they have a own nation. They have their own nation that they can go back to. We don't have that. We don't have sovereignty, right? Whatever the so-called white people whose biblical nationality are Edomites, whenever they decide to change the laws of this land, we have to adhere to it. We can only eat and drink what they provide for us in their stores. And even if you got a little farm where you're growing things, you are supplied by their shipping system to get your seeds, if they sending you completely natural seeds. All right? If you want chickens, you gotta go through their delivery system. All right? Their UPS, their USPS, their Amazon delivery, right? So if you want certain things delivered to you, even if you're not completely sovereign, you're not completely independent. You're always dependent upon your enemy, your oppressor, the man that captured you. But see, sticking to the point, the Lord did that because he loveth us. And sometimes you need to get hit to quit. And the reason why we're out here on the highways and byways shouting at the top of our lungs this truth, and Lord willing, we continue to do it, and the reason why we're bettering ourselves and growing within the truth is because we want to quit being wicked. We want that inheritance of perfection, those perfect bodies, to where we're never going to break our Father's law again, Abba Yahweh's law, our Creator's law, right? But you people in the world, y'all are going to get hit too, but y'all are going to get hit and don't receive salvation on the first go ahead. For one, salvation is not for no heathens, so y'all just going to get hit and thrown into slavery when the Lord comes back. Right? But for you Hebrew Israelites, you wicked Hebrew Israelites, 2/3 of y'all are going to get hit, and then you're going to have to wait until the kingdom is established and be reincarnated as a newborn baby in the kingdom. But y'all going to get hit, right? Jacob's trouble is coming, and the Lord is going to bring an immense amount of judgment on the face of the planet Earth, all right, to show you the error of your ways. What does it say over here in Ecclesiastes chapter 10? Let's go over there real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, starting at verse 5. It reads, "There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler." And you all live in error. Your ways of living is in error. Saying that a man and a woman are equal, when the Lord clearly told you that there is a hierarchy within nature that he set up, that the man is the head. To say that the woman and the man are equal, that's an error. And that's why the divorce rate is almost 70%. And it might be higher than that, right? That's why there's so much infidelity within relationships, right? Which this whole hookup dating culture is an error in itself. A woman is supposed to only be with one man for the rest of her life. She serves her father gives her to a man, and then she serves her husband for the rest of her days. Not this hookup dating culture where you're having random sex as soon as you enter into middle school through the rest of your life. Whenever you get tired of another person, you move on to the next. That's an error within itself, all right? So the way people live is completely out of order, out of touch with reality. But the Lord is coming back to correct that and show you that the ruler of this current kingdom Esau, the so-called white man, he has taught you the wrong way of living. He hasn't taught you anything about life. That's why when you look at the very food that you consume, it's GMO. There's no seeds in your fruit. There's chemicals all in your food. You're eating factory manufactured, right? Chemically manufactured stuff that doesn't come from the earth. Cheetos and honey buns and Hot Pockets, right? And not to mention, I ain't even got to go into the diabolical fast food industry, right? But this is how the Lord is going to correct the error of these people's ways. They're going to get hit. This is Isaiah chapter 66. Isaiah chapter 66, verse, let me see. Isaiah chapter 66, starting at verse 15. It says, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many." The slain of the Lord is going to be many. You're going to get hit and you're going to quit, right? And even before the Lord comes back, the judgment is going to come. The scriptures speak about, let the multitude perish which was born in vain. You people live a vain life. And that goes to your grandma, your great-grandma, all the way down to your little niece that was just born. The Lord is not a respecter of persons. He said he's gonna let me get that real quick. Over here in Ezekiel, the book of Ezekiel, I believe. Ezekiel chapter 9, starting at verse 5, right? The Lord said, here he said, "And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare," right? Don't spare that rod. Don't spare that correction. Hit him. "Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity." Don't even pity them. For all of y'all that was worshiping Jesus on Easter Sunday yesterday, this is what the true power of the scripture said. "Neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young." Your great-great-grandma, if she's still living, and your youngest sibling. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women. But come not near any man upon whom the mark and begin at my sanctuary. Right? So the Lord ain't coming to, be a respecter of persons. He's not going to spare nobody. If you're not coming correct, he's going to correct you with that rod, which is death. Because the wages of sin is death. And if you ain't repenting through the true names and the true spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah, you worthy of the judgment of death, a horrendous judgment, man. Right? Because whether you old or young is irrelevant. Whether you handicapped or not is irrelevant. You're living a life contrary and rebellious against your Creator. Even us as the saints, the scriptures say our righteousness is as filthy rags. So how much more you people in the world? Right? So yeah, I just wanted to do a video touching on that because when I was listening to her speak, I was like, yeah, man, people don't realize until they get hit, the error of their way. Some people just got to get hit to quit. So Lord willing, that was edifying. Until the next time I say shalom.